FDT-TV. I'm Mike.
And I'm Ian.
And we're coming to you straight after the abysmal Arsenal versus Sheffield United game. It's standard process for this week again. We've got the Arsenal game to discuss, the West Ham game to discuss, and as we said last time, we've got the key fixture from the game, so that's the Manchester United versus Liverpool game. Just speaking to Ian just at the start of this, we decided that we would talk about the Arsenal game first because it's very raw at the moment, and we've decided to get that out of the way. So we're going to talk about that. So Sheffield United versus Arsenal. I think we were kind of set up to fail to start off with. We had some key players missing. We had Kieran Tierney that was selectable. Ceballos was selectable. Ozil, he was selectable. We started with an absolute dross team, and we didn't have any creativity in the first half. Sheffield United, I think they deserved to win that. They closed us down. We didn't really create any chances. Just absolutely diabolical.
I think that sums it up. I think that sums it
I
up.
can see that the happiness on your face.
The best. It's not happiness. The thing is with it is it's a case of now you know how I feel from Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, because it just seemed very negative for everything.
It was completely negative. Completely negative. Xhaka was just passing everything back.
Here's how I sum Arsenal up. I thought you'd got past Arsene Wenger-ism, where you just pass it, and no one goes for goal. Xhaka did go for goal once. I think Martinelli was good when he came on.
Yep.
Probably should have started. Pepe, what the bloody hell was that? Should have scored. That should have been what you should have been 1-0 up at that point. I think if you had done, would have been a slightly different game.
Yeah.
But the way you were set up was very defensive.
Yep.
And it just felt like the players thought they were going to walk it.
Yeah.
They thought, oh, Sheffield United, we should win this without even questioning it. So the only thing I think you lacked was that movement going forward. There were players making runs. There just wasn't the passes going forward. 87th minute, you're 1-0 down. You're passing it around the back in your own half. You've got 3 players in your own half. Why are you not passing the ball forward? Do you think Ozil would have made a difference?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to say yes. I think he's had enough time off the pitch now to really make an impact because he's got to shine every time he plays now.
Yep.
There's no two ways about it. I think Emery's just got it all wrong at the moment. He just doesn't have a clue as it stands at the moment. I mean, we were speaking on our first episode about the youngsters coming through, but...
Yep. But they weren't playing.
What do you mean?
Well, Joe, who did you have? You had Joe Willock and Saka. And I think Saka was your best player. It was only
still, I think he had a.
He didn't have a good game. No, you didn't say he didn't have a good game. But he was the only one. When he got the ball, he was going forward.
Yep.
And he was the only one going forward.
Well, the annoying thing is that I was looking at Pepe making some off the ball runs. Mm-hmm. So there was a couple of times that we had Callum Chambers down the wing, and you could see right in the corner of the screen, you could see Pepe starting to make it some runs, and I was going, just pass the ball, and he wouldn't do nothing. He'd come across to Guendouzi, who I also think had an abysmal game today.
Yeah, I think there were points where he tried to make things happen.
Yeah,
just it didn't come off.
The same with everything that we've done tonight. I think Emery was correct in trying to make changes at half time because we needed it. Xhaka should have come off a lot sooner than he did.
Yep.
Joe Willock, I think he was. We were speaking during half time, and I said to you that Xhaka needs to come off, Willock needs to come off.
If you could have, you would have made 11 substitutions.
Well, I think Aubameyang, you could see he was starting to get really frustrated.
I don't think he
And
had any service today, did he?
No, he didn't. And it was so disappointing. It really is. And we're going to end up in the same position that we have done with a lot of our key strikers, where they've just had enough.
Yep.
Sanchez, you could see it towards the end of his Arsenal career, was getting really frustrated that he was making the runs, trying to make something of the game, and yet none of the other people around him was doing the same. I mean, it was great when Lacazette come on, because I think there was we had Ceballos come on, we had Lacazette come on, we had Martinelli come on.
Yep.
I think they were three great substitutions, but had they made the Lacazette one earlier and the Martinelli one earlier, I think, again, it could have been a different game. But I was speaking to you at 75 minutes into the game, and I was like, he ain't going to score. We're definitely not going to score.
I think, although Arsenal played badly, I think you've got to give credit to Sheffield United.
What?
Because they played well, they were solid at the back, everything was forward. There was no sideways passes. It was, right, let's go forward. Let's go forward. Right, okay, we lost the ball. Pull back, get solid, win the ball back, go forward again.
Yep.
I think that's what Arsenal lack, going forward. Pepe impressed me, I will admit. He can run with the ball. He can beat 3 or 4 players and get himself out of a problem.
Yep.
But he's got no finishing product. He reminds me very much of Theo Walcott a few years ago, that he can beat a man. He's quick. He's got quick feet. He has got some skill. But when it comes to putting a cross in or finishing, he's just not, I say Premier League quality. He's not top-end Premier League quality. You could see him in like I say, an Everton shirt or playing for Watford. Even the likes of Newcastle at the minute, I think they played well at the weekend. But that level of team, West Ham, where you make some good runs and you make some good progress, but there's just, he needs to up his game.
Yeah, I do. That's a completely fair assumption. I mean, at the moment, I'd swap Pepe for Iwobi back. I really would. Really, really would.
It's understandable.
And I do feel bad for Iwobi leaving the team, because I think he would absolutely shine with us at the moment.
Well, we said last week we were going to do some predictions.
Yes.
And we're going to put it in a league table until the end of the season, from now until the end of the season. Yep. And then we'll probably, whoever loses will probably do a forfeit.
Yep.
Of some description. We'll figure that out. So we were going to do 3 points for a correct score. Yep. 1 point for a correct result.
Yep.
And no points if you didn't get the result or the correct score. So this game, we both went Arsenal 3-1.
But I did actually put in my comments when we were discussing this fixture that I said it was going to be a problem fixture for us, and I originally had 2-2 written down, but thought, no, I'll back my boys.
Yeah. But it's one of those, I thought you was going to struggle to start off with and then nick 2 late goals and win it.
Yep.
Or something to that effect. But it didn't happen.
No.
So we both end up with a grand result of
0-0. Yeah.
When it comes to Eurovision, we will do very, very well.
Absolutely.
So have you got anything else to say about the game other than you're vastly disappointed?
Get Xhaka out of the team. I know he's our number 1 captain, but get him out of the team.
What do you mean your number 1 captain?
Well, we said before that they've got 5 captains. Arsenal have got 5 captains. We've got Xhaka, I think Aubameyang's one. Ozil's a captain. I can't remember the other 2 at the moment. I'll probably remember if I wasn't so angry.
Well, you've always got next week with Crystal Palace. I think that'll be another difficult game.
Yep.
But we'll get onto that in our predictions at the end.
Yeah.
So if we move on from there, and we'll go on to West Ham Everton.
Yeah, sounds
we get
good.
The other frustrating game out. Well, they've all the 3 ones we predict are all really frustrating games, and because we're going to that, obviously we did lose.
Yep.
However, I do think there needs to be a bit of claret in the background. So we'll change that.
That's so cool.
Because you got to support through good and bad. Mostly bad with West Ham. But we'll go from there.
Yep.
I predicted 3-1. I said it would go one of two ways. We'd get smashed or they'd get smashed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to... Originally, I went with Everton. And then I changed my mind last minute. It went 3-1. That was a mistake. And you went 2-2. So you almost got the result because Everton got 2 goals. But again, 0-0 from both of us.
Yep.
Did you see any of the game?
Yes, I did. I thought it was from what I have seen recently of West Ham. I thought it was a really poor game from West Ham. From the minute go, Everton were all over you. There was countless chances that they could have had. Iwobi could have scored.
Yep.
I can't remember. Richarlison should have scored.
Tom Davies.
Yeah, it just seemed to be kind of relentless. I mean, I did see West Ham have a couple of chances, but I don't think they were by any means clear cut. No. And it was just a really disappointing game from West Ham from my perspective.
Do you know what it reminds me of? That performance. It reminded me of when we played under Slavan Bilic, and there was no running, the fitness was poor, and no one looked like they could be bothered. That was what I saw in that game. Masuaku for the first goal. Well, I don't understand why Aaron Cresswell wasn't in the squad, because he's scored, I think, his last 2 appearances, or maybe 2 out of 3, but he's played really well. So to drop him, unless he was injured, I don't understand that. The goalkeeper was awful. I've literally this is what I've written down. We've lacked fitness. The goalkeeper was awful. That's 2 of my notes. And until we've got our first choice keeper back, I'm not going to say his name again because I can't pronounce it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Until we've got him back, we're losing every game.
Well, you did say last week, I think, that it was a confidence thing, that with your defence, if you put Fabianski back in goal, your defence goes from kind of a mid-table side up to a top 8 or top 6. I think.
And I think it does, because I think you've got to have the confidence that if you do make a mistake, the goalkeeper is going to stop it.
Yep.
And Roberto doesn't stop anything.
He did have a couple of good saves. But
he had a couple of good saves, but they were fired at him from like as close to I am to my computer screen. If he hadn't saved then I think he would have been murdered on the way home. The one thing I will say is Mark Noble did what Mark Noble does. He tried to get the team fired up and firing. He had a poor game, especially into the level he's been putting in this season. It was below par. But it just the passes he was putting in just weren't going where they wanted to, or where he wanted them to. And it just was, we was lacking. There was no motivation. The fitness seems to be dead. So when we went from Bilic to David Moyes, his thing was, if you don't run and your fitness isn't right, you're not playing. At which point we were playing well because everyone was running and everyone was fit. Now they're not. They seem to have lacked that, and we've got these players. Anderson, everyone bangs on how good Anderson is. It's shocking. I don't think he's Premier League calibre at all. He'll have 1-2 amazing games a season. I don't think that makes you a good player, personally. Yarmolenko didn't start, which was frustrating because he's been in a good vein of form. I feel sorry for Pablo Fornals because he, in the summer, in the Under-21s World Cup, was banging in goals, playing really well, was Spain's best player. Since he's been in, he's either been a bit part player, like last couple of minutes. I think this might have been his first start. I might be wrong with that. But he's always been played out of position. I think, how can you expect him, as a new player one to the Premier League, which is a different quality of football compared to Spain.
Yeah.
But also, right, we're going to play you on the wing when you're a centre attacking midfielder or just a central midfielder. You see, you're not going to get the best out of him out there.
Yeah. I do remember actually the commentators absolutely slating him during that game, which I think was a bit unfair.
I think he's shot of confidence, but when you're not playing in your natural position and you've never played on the wing, and you're playing at the top level of football, and you're just going to get schooled day in day out. And I do feel a bit sorry for him. But saying that, I think Everton deserved the win.
Yeah,
they were tenacious, weren't they? And just kept
absolutely.
coming.
You could see the second goal was eventually coming, and it was a bit of a.
It was. In fact,
worldie.
I did enjoy Sigurdsson's goals, or Sigurdsson's goal, I should say. It was a blinder of a goal, and
it was a cracking
fair play to Everton. They deserved it. So we blew our chance to go third, and then tonight, it's made me feel a little bit better because Arsenal have blown their chance to go third.
Yeah.
So we are the same club. We're in the same boat, and that's that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say.
No, I don't know.
But if you want to add, or you've got any opinions, then
no, I think we've covered those two pretty conclusively.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have 40 minutes or the equivalent of Monday Night Football to go through each play and where everything went wrong. So I think
I'd love to do that.
yeah, it would be pretty cool. Just to go.
Yeah, I'd just be very angry at everything.
Yes.
Look at it. Wouldn't be look at how good this plays and how good that plays. This bit here, just makes me angry. Let's watch it again, and you can see the rage building inside of me.
You watch your face go from like claret to blue.
That's it. Yeah, that's how West Ham works. So we'll move on.
Yes.
To yesterday's game, which I'm quite glad that Liverpool got a goal because I don't have to wear a Manchester United shirt.
What was it you said?
It's 6. Yeah, I did make a big thing of 6-0.
I did say they would cause an upset.
You did. It wasn't quite the upset that you called.
No.
But I'll let you kick off. What did you actually? I'll ask you some questions and you can answer them. What did you think of the first half? Poor from who?
Both.
From both?
Okay. Both teams are really scrappy.
Yep.
Liverpool. In fact, no, both teams. They were giving away needless passes.
Mm-hmm.
No composure on the ball. It was just a scrappy first half. I think United were lucky for their goal to stand, and Liverpool, it's one of those things which I'll come on to in a minute, with their goal being disallowed for the handball on VAR. It was correctly given. I mean, in fact, I'll go on to that bit now because I think it's fairly poignant to talk about it.
Yeah.
When the rules were made for VAR, they quite clearly stated that if a goal comes as a part of the ball touching the hand, the goal will be chalked off. So I think Jurgen Klopp looked a little bit like, what's going on here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if he checks back after the game, or if he's able to get that information to the game, or whilst he's in the game, he'll be able to quite clearly see that the ball hit Marnie's hand and
I think
disallowed.
I do think it was unfortunate for Marnie. I think if he hadn't been moving at the rate of knots that he was, it wouldn't have hit his hand. I just think it's one of those things. As he was running, his arm come through and the ball bounced and hit it. And you're right, it did get chalked off correctly. Manchester United's goal.
Yes.
If taking the goal out of it, was Lindelof's tackle on Origi a foul? Because there's a number of angles of it. I do think Origi played it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what player doesn't at the minute? Every play seems to be over dramatic, but he did get kicked in the calf and in the shin.
I think United. I do think United were lucky to have that goal allowed in, but this again, it comes back to what we've been banging on since we started this podcast. Is about it's one person's interpretation of that particular footage at that time.
Yep.
That person didn't think that it was a free kick, therefore, or it wasn't a foul, therefore the goal stood.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you took a panel of people that would do that, you would end up possibly, 70-30, 50-50, 60-40. There would be a split because one person would interpret it completely different to another. I know there are kind of rules and guidelines that these people should get some consistency within the game, but unfortunately we're human.
Yep. No, I think you're right. The concerning thing is the amount of VAR decisions there has been.
Mm-hmm.
Not once has the referee gone over to look at the screen that's pitch side.
Yep.
And they've come out and made a statement to say they strongly discourage that, which just get rid of the screen. If they're refusing to look at it, don't have it.
Yep.
But also there has been a number of decisions that have been wrong. So the Origi tackle, or Lindelof's tackle on Origi, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I get that. But the fact that they looked at it through VAR and quite clearly he has been kicked,
mm-hmm.
so that's a foul. I think what they should have done is said no goal because there's a foul in the build-up to play, which they have done previously. But then the referee should have also gone and spoke to Origi and said, don't over-dramatise contact, because next time you'll get booked.
Well, I think. Do you know what? I think
because it wasn't a dive, but it was a lot more flamboyant than it should have been.
But I think potentially this is being coached into the players because you do have VAR now.
Yep.
That you are going to get slowed down, and if there is contact, you've got to try and make it worse or look worse at slow speeds.
Yeah.
And frustratingly, as you said, with this particular foul, there are different angles at which you could look at it. Where you look at the referee's perspective, it looks like he's gone down far too easy.
Yep.
But whereas you and I know, and as everyone else knows that has seen it from these different angles.
Yep.
There was contact.
But at that point, should the VAR say, potentially, go and have a look at it and make a decision? Because it could go either way. And say, give the referee that opportunity. Yes, there is contact. Go and have a look.
Do you know what? I think this is something that's really frustrating me, is that VAR is there on the perspective that if there is a clear and obvious error,
yep,
then that's why we need it.
Yep.
As you've just said, or has been that the thing that's been banging on is that we're kind of taking, or it's deemed to be taking the decisions out of the referee's hand. Mm-hmm. As you just said, give the referee the option. So they've got those earpieces in.
Yep.
Just say to them, look, you may have missed this. Go and have a look.
Yep.
It then gives the responsibility back to the referee.
Yep.
And then they can make, as you said, make
a judgment that
way.
You can make an informed decision. I mean, at speed, the speed of the game, the speed the players move, yes, it is going to be. It's impossible to get every decision correct because you can't see it from every angle. But actually, where you go, right, we've got 3 angles for you to look at. Go and have a look, and then you can make your decision.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you said is clearing obvious errors, and this is jumping game slightly, but. Watford, Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham asked for a penalty, which, if it was given, was going to be soft. Again, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, but I don't think it was a penalty. Not long after, Deulofeu got tackled by Vertonghen, and it wasn't given as a penalty. VAR looked at it and said no penalty, but when you look at the replay of it, one, it was a 2-footed challenge. Tui made no contact with the ball, and as he come through, he kicked out at him with his right foot. It was an attempt to get the ball, but he didn't get him. He just got his ankle. So surely that's a clear and obvious error. That the play, he's gone in with a 2-foot tackle with both studs showing, which is a red card offence.
Red card, yeah.
2, he's potentially denied a goal scoring opportunity, which is a penalty. And 3, he's just taken out the player. That's a clear and obvious error. And you can see that from the replay. It doesn't matter what angle you look at it from, that is what you see. So that should have been overturned. That should have been a penalty. And also, on the subject of handballs, did you see Dele Alli's goal?
No, I didn't.
The control for it was with this part of his arm. So it wasn't a shoulder, it wasn't a collarbone, it wasn't a neck, it wasn't a chest, it was a bicep. Which, from what I understand, with all the other goals that have been discounted, is now a handball. So, not only should Tottenham have lost, but they should have had a player red carded as well. And I think, unfortunately, VAR is ruining it from the perspective of it's ruining goal celebrations. So it's ruining it for the players. It's ruining it for the fans. A number of people have said, well, if you can hear what they're talking about, then that will make it better. But if you've made a clear and obvious error, and they say, no, it's all right, you made the correct decision there, then surely that's just going to wind fans up more. So my interpretation of VAR is it should be adding to the game, where all it's doing is subtracting from it, because you can't celebrate your goals. Because, actually, is there going to be a foul? Is there not? Is there going to be something they've seen 5 minutes ago? Is there not? So you're taking away from that, but also players are over dramatising things in hope that, as you said, when it gets slowed down, it looks worse than it is. So I think you either need to scrap it, or when it's obvious that there has been an error in the game, demote the referee, and certainly demote the person in the VAR room. I think the trouble is the first decision that gets overturned is going to be scrutinised. And I think all the referees that are in the VAR room are scared to be the first person to do that.
But this is the thing, I don't understand, because they were there was a particular game that we had a couple of weeks ago. Now, this is just reading from something I've seen on Facebook. I'm not entirely sure how true it will be. That I don't get. Where they said that it was a penalty decision for us for a foul on someone. I can't remember exactly who. Pepe.
Yep.
And what they said is that it was, or the ref didn't give it as a foul. It got checked by VAR.
Yep.
And they said no. But it later then come out, again, I don't know how true this is, that they didn't want to be seen to be going against the referee.
Yep. But that's what they're there for.
Exactly. Like I said, I don't know how true it is.
It's difficult. Well, should we get back, because we're conscious of time. We're going 28 minutes at the minute, so we'll wrap up the Liverpool game and then come back for part 2 for our predictions and some other discussions. There's some breaking news tonight. I don't know if you're aware, but we'll get on to that.
Okay.
So you have to stick around to find out what that news is. So Liverpool were poor in the first half.
Yep.
Extremely poor. Robertson was off his game. I think the crowd was really getting to him, especially when they were 1-0 down. Fabinho was awful, putting in bad challenges. Every pass was bad. Firmino put one into Rosed. For what reason? The angle that he was at, he never usually does it. Just square it and it's a goal. That's how Liverpool played. I think the quick 1-2s that were there and the quick build-up play didn't seem to be there. It was all long ball. And that was uncharacteristic. And I think it was just a frustrating night. I think Manchester United played their best game of the season so far.
Yes.
The intensity that they were playing, and they matched Liverpool, and I thought that they were going to drop off, because I thought they're not used to playing like this. They're not going to be able to keep it up. But actually, I was really impressed. then you get into the second half, and it was almost role reversal. I think
It did for me.
Liverpool.
It did take about 10-15 minutes for Liverpool to then start dominating.
Yeah, they grew into it, but I think they upped their levels to where they usually were. And the turning point in that was Daniel James cheating and play acting. He dived on. He did get a couple of big challenges, but the first one, Ryan Giggs said, "Oh no, where he was knocked out, he was just pretending." So that's cheating the game.
Yes. Yeah,
so should he have been playing? You've play acted being knocked out, and I mean having concussion, which is what they said he was play acting. I know all about that. I've been suffering. You know, there's no way you can play act that. It's not. Yeah, you get an adrenaline rush, you get through it, but there's no way that he would have then played
on Sunday.
On Sunday, yesterday, to get through it. But where he went down, head injury again. That's where Liverpool started to up the game. Then he went down again, had a bit of a bloody nose, but he was rolling around with that for a while. And then I think he went down a third time, and that's where Liverpool stepped up their game and got back to, if they'd played like that the whole game, then they would have walked it, because they were just bang, 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 bang all over it. But what can you say?
It was sloppy defending for Liverpool to equalise. You could see on Gary Neville's face. I mean, Carragher, he did pull a bit of a...
Yeah, I bet he did.
Jamie Carragher, it was just like, oh, what are you doing? I think it was in the 86th minute, I think it was.
It's something like that, yeah.
All I had to do was kind of shut it out. I mean, Liverpool did make some good substitutions, but I
think they were positive substitutions, which is unusual, because usually it's right, let's go defensive, let's bring on the defensive midfield. It's like, no, I think Chamberlain played well, and Lallana come on and played well. And Keita come on, did he, for a little while at the end, and was much better, so I'll be surprised if he doesn't start next time.
Who knows?
So I'll put a graphic right here of the league, or here, of the league table, which currently stands at 3 games played and 0 points gained.
Yeah,
for both sides.
Going strong.
But I'm currently top with just through alphabetical order. So,
well, if we're going on surnames,
going on surnames, I'll be left out. So
H comes before V.
yeah, what size is it? It's there. Right. So what we'll do is we'll do the league table. We'll put a nice little subscribe here.
Yes.
Because you've got to remember to subscribe. Put the bell on so you get any notifications. Press the like button. And if you're really feeling generous, then just share it everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, whatever floats your boat. Tumblr. What else is there? Tinder. Put it on Tinder. Get it on there. But yeah, so stick around for part 2, which will be our predictions and breaking news.
Thanks very much.
Yes.